After 8 years, Moana 2 is finally out. Is it any good? Let's talk about it.
Maui?
Boat snack! Oh! Boat snack upgrade! Bacon and eggs?
So I'm actually a huge fan of the first Moana. I think I saw all the way back in 2018, so I was a bit late to the fandom and the crowd on this one. But in my opinion, it is a really great, Disney animated movie. One of the better ones they've had in a long time, because you have to separate Disney animated films from Pixar animated films, because they're different, workers on those ones different, entirely. And Pixar, we can all admit Pixar makes the best, animated movies. Disney owned that title back, far long ago, but now Pixar makes the better ones. But Moana, I think, is a great Disney animated film. And it also became, the most streamed movie of all time. Just a couple months ago, that headline came out. And I think that's all thanks to Disney Plus becoming a thing back in 2020, 2021. And thanks to all the parents who just turned Moana on for their kids like multiple times a day. But it is kind of crazy to think that Moana is the most streamed movie of all time. And it only came out 8 years ago. It only took, 8 years and I think it was 3 or 4 years on streaming, because Disney Plus only existed for 3 or 4 years at that point. But I know everyone loves the first Moana. I love the first Moana. I decided to turn it on before I went to Moana 2, and I just had an awesome time with it once again. And I went to Moana 2, kind of nervous, and I'm sad to say, as a huge fan of the first one, this second one just doesn't live up to that first one at all. And that's basically to blame, because it was originally supposed to be made as a Disney Plus series. This sequel wasn't supposed to exist as a movie at all. It was supposed to exist just as a Disney Plus Moana series, and then they probably had plans to make a sequel, and they're going to make a Moana live action movie. They're going all in on Moana, but the sequel was just supposed to be a Disney animated series. And I'm sad to say, but it just feels like, a series. It feels like a direct to streaming kind of movie, because it doesn't have that feeling like a sequel should, which is feeling grand, increasing the stakes. This one doesn't really do that for me. It kind of just felt like a side mission, and, each section of a story felt chopped together and edited together really weirdly, because, as I said, it was probably meant to be a 6-episode series of content. And so you're probably just editing all these together in such a weird, messy way. And that's why it feels so messy. And of course, they add, a lot of different side characters to this, because that's what shows do. The simple truth is that Moana 2 just isn't as good as the first one. And I probably won't go back to it myself, much. I walked out and I was like, I probably won't even go see this again in theaters. And that's coming from someone who loves to go rewatch movies in theaters. And I love Moana. I've watched it a couple times on Disney Plus, and I just don't see myself really going back to this, more than, twice or maybe 3 times. Disney, it seems they just saw the first one blow up and decided, oh, let's change Moana 2 from a series to a movie real quick in the most messy way possible, so we can make all the money we want. And I guess that plan is going to work, because I'm betting that this sequel will make, probably $1 billion at the box office. It's supposed to open on 200 million the first 5 days. The first Moana made 800 million worldwide or something. I think this one will easily gross $1 billion. Probably be the last $1 billion movie of the year, but it just sucks. It's not as good as the first one. One major thing that this one misses was Lin-Manuel Miranda, because if you didn't know, he worked on the first one's music, and he made so many iconic songs and helped work on so many iconic songs for this movie, and not even, so many other movies too. But he made You're Welcome for the first movie, How Far I'll Go, and Shiny. Those are just a couple of my favorite songs on that one. And this sequel tries really hard with its songs, but none of them end up having that catchy feeling that the first one did with all of its songs. I can say that the first one, I enjoy probably 95% of those songs. This one, though, this sequel, I really can't think of many songs that I really want to go back to and add to a Spotify playlist. The only song that I really did enjoy was the one titled Beyond. I think that one is a great song, really emotional song. I just feel like they just couldn't replicate what made the first one so special with all those catchy songs. And that has to do with missing Lin-Manuel Miranda. You're also missing the 2 directors of the first one, who are John Musker and Ron Clements. If you don't know them, they're actually directed a lot of the classic Disney animated movies. Go look at their resumes. They have a lot of great movies that you probably knew yourself growing up and watched a lot growing up. And that was another really noticeable thing from me. I just felt like this one lacked the important vision and charm that had the first one being so special. And what they put in the first one was so special, was that charm and that, vision. And, this one has a couple different directors. That's because, as we said, it was supposed to be a show. And when you do make a show, you usually assign a couple different directors, a couple episodes. Like you assign one director 2 episodes, another 2 episodes, or something like that. That's usually what they do for Marvel shows, Star Wars shows. That's when this one was supposed to do. I really do miss those directors. Hopefully, they're going to be working on a new project, but we'll see. But that was a really big missed opportunity for this one. I do want to give this one some flowers because I was still positive on it. I had some fun at some moments, and that's basically because of our two leads being Alu E. Kravalu and Dwayne Johnson, of course, as Maui and Moana. Both of them, did a terrific job as they did in the first one. But I will say a little bit of slight on that was that they're not together for most of the movie. For the first one, they're together for 60-70% of the movie. This one, they don't really meet up until like halfway in, and I just love their relationship so much, and it felt like there wasn't really enough of them butting heads against each other to, have the same amount of charm as the first one. They do have a couple moments, couple really nice moments in that third act, and I will say the third act is where the movie has its, best moments, the most fun, the most darker moments that I was really waiting for. But our two leads just help the movie so much, and if without them, we just wouldn't have a great movie, or wouldn't really have a movie at all. And the side characters are all right, but it's like, why do we need them? It just took time away from our two leads being together, which I think is what holds this movie together. It's basically our glue to this movie. Before we get to my score, another crazy thing we have to discuss is that we're getting a Moana live action movie in just a couple years. Like, that is kind of crazy, man. Why are we getting a Moana live action movie just after 2 animated movies? Disney is on something, I will say that, because we're getting, live action Snow White, live action everything. Live action Snow White film looks a little bit better off this new teaser that I saw in theaters, but it's kind of insane how many live action movies we're getting. I just don't have a lot of hope for this live action movie because you're of course missing our lead girl who played Moana. We're getting a new Moana in this movie. Dwayne Johnson's coming back, but I just don't know how that's going to turn out. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but why are we getting a live action Moana? I just will keep asking that question. Overall, Moana 2 is sadly a disappointment as it misses a lot of what made the first one so special. It'll probably make a lot of money at the box office, but I hope they bounce back and make a third one and decide to make it a movie instead of changing their minds halfway through the creative process, because it just won't end well. I'll just say this, stick to the first one, Disney Plus, because it's just so much better. Moana 2 gets a low 6.5 out of 10, but I'm still positive on it. If you did see Moana 2, which I'm guessing you did, leave your thoughts down below in the comments. You'll probably have some different opinions than me, and that's all right. If you did enjoy my review, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.